Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dreamhack Montreal 2019 closed qualifiers for North America. My name's Gazarin. Join with me today is Hunted, a new face for Rival Esports. But if you guys were watching the Rocket League Central broadcast on the other side of the bracket earlier today, you've seen his face and you know his voice. And it's a pleasure to be here with you today, Hunter. How you feeling?
Oh, absolutely wonderful. I guess this is my first official Rival cast. A guest caster here on Rival a couple of times, but you know it's awesome to join the gang. Everybody here is amazing, and to work with you again, Daz, is always a pleasure.
Lovely. Now, you casted earlier today. How have the games been looking for you so far?
Oh man, we on the Rocket League Central stream, we watched Relax versus Linked Up. That was the first game of the match, of the day, I should say. Went to all 5 games, and ended up winning that one in game 5. I think it was 4-2, but they scored 5 goals through 4 games. That was it. It was a very close, low-scoring match between those two teams. Linked Up went into G2, and G2 had their way. Took 4 games, but G2 played the way G2 plays, and Linked Up just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty crazy day. Guys, if you want to keep up with all the action, look at that exclamation point bracket so you guys can follow what's going on. Obviously, the matches should be marked whether or not Rival Esports or Rocket League Central are going to be streaming it, so you can follow up with your favorite teams, and be sure to just give shout-outs and updates in the chat as well. We're going to get right into Afterthought versus Spacestation. Now, Afterthought just 3-1 Rogue to get into this matchup. This is going to be very interesting. They've had an interesting run today, and now they're here with their qualifying match.
Yeah, I'm so excited to watch this Afterthought team. First Killer, Sathu, and Shock. Definitely was the team to watch for me coming into this to see how they perform. Of course, Sathu from Space Station, so this is going to be a little bit of a revenge tour for him. We'll see if they can pull it out, but First Killer and Shock, 2 wonderful players from kind of the bubble scene, RLRS scene, and they're looking to make their mark here as we get started with game 1, Daz.
I am really excited to see this Afterthought roster. We've seen glimpses of it in the opens yesterday, and now we get to see them head-to-head against Space Station. Like you said, this is going to be very big implications for the future of both Afterthought and Space Station. We're in the middle of the offseason, so things can still move around, but this is a head-to-head some of us have been waiting for, and I'm ready to get it underway.
Yeah, let's do it here as we've got the game underway now, 40 seconds in. No score, but it does look like Space Station playing in the offensive zone for the majority of it. Sathu's going to find the clear. There's Sipical. Can he get the double? He does, but it's just wide. Can't quite put it home. AXB off the back wall. And Daz, we're going to have to see how Arsenal slots into this roster. Of course, taking Sathu's place here. It's going to be not only to see how well they do as a team, but how well he performs as he just hits that one off the post.
Yeah, very close shot from him. Obviously, Arsenal, a very great player in and out. He's put in a lot of work into the game, and it has shown. Space Station for them. On paper, this looks like a good pickup for them, especially in the place of Sathu, but we'll see how Sathu fits in with this Afterthought roster as well, because Shock and First Killer are doing a great job, at least behind the scenes. Shock is promoted to rank SM6 mans, and First Killer's always just been a very dominant performer when he's comfortable in his own space. But this is going to be a very fast game, and we'll see how it plays out.
This one's going to go into the blue corner here, where Sathu looks to play past AXB. Does well, but Sipical's there to turn it around. Goes over top of First Killer. Shock can't get the touch out in front, but First Killer plays it into the corner now as Sathu down towards Shock. Gets by one. Sipical shot on goal. It's just a bit high. Lucky for them that ball does not find its way in here. Space Station still pressing the attack off the crossbar. Shock's going to clear it away. Can he turn this into some offense? Sipical's the only man back. He's got Sathu in mid, looking for it, but Sipical's there to make the play. This is really the first pressure we've seen from Afterthought in this game. Space Station's been doing quite well to keep everything away.
Yeah, for Afterthought, they have to understand that this is a team that you can almost rely on if you're looking at Space Station, that you know if they're going to be on the back wall, they're going to clear this touch the best possible way that they can. So it's a match of really consistency between both of these teams, and who could play the ball up and get past the defense. Also, taking advantage of counterattacks is going to be crucial here, because that's going to be their best goal opportunity. Catching the team off guard on rotations is going to lead to some big plays. We'll see which team can pull it out first.
Yeah, Sipical's looking for the follow-up. AXB not in position. Played all the way down. Shock the double. He goes off the crossbar. First Killer still here. Tries to play it down. Wow, so close, but still Shock trying to keep it in. Typical is going to clear it away. First Killer almost getting that flip reset goal. Would have been quite the highlight, not able to pull it off. Minute 50 remains here in game one. We're still scoreless.
Yeah, for Afterthought, that's a good shot opportunity for them. Unfortunately, they weren't able to knock it down, so it's going to take some time for them to reset and get more offense back into play, as well as looking at Space Station. They like to control the ball, they like to control the pace, but pay attention to how they're being played in the midfield. They're being beat to a lot of challenges, and that could come back to haunt them if that's a consistent issue.
XB plays this down, easy save for Shock. Sathu wants to get over top of Arsenal. Not going to have any of that. As Typical getting that 50 down to his teammate. First Killer going to challenge it there. Here comes AXB. A little bit of miscommunication by Space Station in mid, but still they keep the ball in the blue half. Slow to the rotation is Afterthought so far. Typical right into Sathu. AXB can't find the touch. Sathu past Arsenal. Typical has to get back in a hurry, and the ball is just wide. Sathu had the chance, but he pushed it just wide. First Killer. What a read off the ceiling. It's 1-0.
That is a high quality shot from First Killer. Look at Sathu though. He bumps Typical, forcing him to let go of possession. But the read from First Killer to catch that ball and put it on target with the shot is incredible. That's a great goal for Afterthought. They got a lot of momentum going in as we have 54 seconds left of game one.
1-0 in favor of Afterthought, but Space Station off the kickoff ties us up.
And the momentum is gone just like that. A kickoff that doesn't go their way. A great cheat from Arsenal. He gets it right around Shock, and Sathu a little bit too far forward. Can't catch up to that one in time. So they got to reset here. 51 seconds left. We're tied up.
We are tied up. We are going to see which team takes game number one, takes advantage of the play so far in this series. Shock tries to play it into Typical. Sathu keeps the ball in. What can Arsenal do with this? He's got to get up in a hurry. Does quite well. Here's First Killer, though. Challenged by Typical. It's in the sidewall. Typical out towards AXB. Small touch. Can he get a second one? Doesn't quite have the boost, and Shock will clear it away. The final 22 seconds now of regulation time in game one. Beyond First Killer. Beyond Sathu. Here comes Typical. Can't get it past Shock, though. Ball still in the blue corner, however. 10 seconds left to go before we see overtime. First Killer down right into Arsenal. This one off the ceiling out in front. AXB, quick shot, good save. Shock gives them the opportunity and then takes it away.
Yeah, that was a good stop there from Shock as well. Eliminating that pressure and the chance for a last second goal. And now you get to restart things here at overtime. And we'll see which team can get it on the right foot.
Are underway with overtime in game one. Typical. First Killer reads that well off the back while AXB turns it around. First Killer's been very, very good at reading these small shots, but Arsenal gets the bump play. Works out for them. They take game one.
And Arsenal, look at this, doink 2, using the Phoenix, solid redirect over First Killer. He did not expect Arsenal to get that touch, but man, that is a crucial goal here. Game one is done. Space Station have the series lead.
That they do, and it was a very close game from start to finish, but the shot counter does not tell that story here, Daz. Look at the shot differential. Space Station, so many. Afterthought only had 3 shots, but you know, it really felt like they were in control for at least part of the game.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, although they were able to do that, they didn't, like you said, they didn't amount to a lot of shot totals. Most of those totals came pretty much after that one drive where we saw First Killer have a double tap blocked. But after that, things seem to kind of just regulate and slow down a little bit. Meanwhile, look at Arsenal, 7 shots for the Space Station's new pickup. He's already off to a great start against this Afterthought roster. It's looking good. I don't know what to expect going into game 2, but you want to see a response from Afterthought here because it wasn't their best game.
No, you're right. It absolutely wasn't. They can certainly play a little bit better. Again, I think First Killer was kind of the MVP of that game for them. He had a lot of really important touches, scored their only goal, of course, after that ceiling read. But taking a look at the vote, I think chat is pretty split on this one here, Daz. 50-50 pretty much down the line on who's going to take the series. Yeah,
I mean, I'd be pretty split on this one too. I like Arsenal, and I like how he fits on the Space Station roster. I like Sathu and Shock as well. Even First Killer a little bit here and there. I mean, they're all really good players. Space Station are fitting pretty well with Arsenal added to the roster as well. So with them being an RLCS team, I want them to go far next season. But we have to see. I mean, we're only in game number 2 at this point.
We are into game in number 2. Sathu's going to play this one out of the corner. Bounces it down. There's AXB to keep it in. It's going to be an important first minute, I think, here for Afterthought. Certainly want to take that early lead if possible. Arsenal's going to clear this one off his back wall. First killer to keep the ball in the orange zone. Typical, just going to touch it out. That's a double commit. This could be dangerous. There's no follow-up, though. Sathu has so much time in the corner, and he's going to use it to get the clear.
Now, obviously, that's a great move from Sathu to be able to dribble. You want to slow things down. You want to force that 50 and buy your team as much time as possible. But that being said, the double commit is wrong, but the whiff on the double commit is even worse. They got to clean that up.
That they do. That one almost found its way in. Just goes off the crossbar. Here's Shock. Gets by Typical. What a move. Getting it by AXB. Not quite. Tried to go underneath of him. Sathu will follow. And Afterthought takes the lead. Hey, within the first minute, just like I said.
Yeah, within the first minute. That's a good 50 there from AXB, but Sathu had him read like a book. That's what happens when you're playing your former teammate, and then he gets at that and capitalizes on the opportunity to score a goal. That being said, Shock did an excellent job moving that to be in that position in the first place. Again, a good start for Afterthought, but can they hold on to the lead?
Yeah, we'll have to see. That's certainly the kind of epitome of this game. You can get out to a lead, but to keep the lead, it can be quite difficult, especially against a team like Spacestation. Now as Shock plays this one down, if they can extend the lead, that will be ideal. All 3 players from Spacestation around that ball. Will Sathu punish them? They will! Sathu gets his second of the game.
And this is Sathu starting to download his teammates. You see them all bunched up. He sees an opportunity, flick over 2, and he's going to be typical to that ball every time. A great second goal for him. And Afterthought, they're starting to get some momentum going here.
I'm not quite sure what the plan was on defense from Spacestation there, but all 3 players trying to play one ball does not quite work out for them, and Sathu gets his second. AXB plays this down towards Arsenal. First killer. Over to Sathu. He's got Shock in mid. Looks for the flick, but AXB reads that well and plays it away. Here's Arsenal. Wins the 50 with first killer. Sipical's going to chase this along the sidewall. He is up for it. Small touch, but it's going to be turned around quite easily by Shock. And this is the game I think Afterthought wants to play, Daz. They don't want to go high-paced, high-flying, especially on the defensive end. When you've got this 2-goal lead, wasting time trying to force something out of Spacestation looks to be their plan of attack.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this roster and how they perform individually, they come through and it's a really good combo. You have Shock, who's a very smart player, and when the game is slowed down, that's when he excels. When the game speeds up, you have First Killer, who is just the best ball chaser in the game. But all that being said, you have Sathu in the back line, who's one of the greatest calmers in the game as well, and he can just call things out and make everyone's process a lot easier. So this does work as a really good team combo for them. That being said, they are down 1 in the series, and we need to see whether or not they can shut out this game too, because Spacestation are trying to strike back.
Yeah, there's now really just starting to find the offense. Typical trying to go up, beat Sathu to the ball, can't quite do it. Can Sathu get the clear? Not able to get by AXB. Here comes First Killer along the sidewall. Shock up for it now. Plays that one around Typical. First killer over to Sathu, but Arsenal is going to force them back with that touch. Sathu does get by Arsenal, however. Typical in proper position. Plays it down. Arsenal in transition. Now off the back wall. Out of the blue corner. Here comes AXB. That one's going to bounce out in front. Sathu, no problems for him. Although First Killer's got to hustle. Sathu takes it away from him. But he will find the clear eventually, and we can start to see now Spacestation really looking to activate that third man here, Daz, and they've got a minute and a half. That ball is...
Oh, go ahead.
What? No. This one's going to be played into the corner, and I'm just... It's interesting to see that Spacestation, they're just not able to find the defensive touches, but that is quite a good one there by Sipical. Sathu's going to play this one wide. Sipical towards the net. First killer to clear. We've got 65 seconds. Still a 2-goal lead for Afterthought. Now with a minute left here, AXB all the way down. First killer touches it towards Sathu. Out of the corner. What can Arsenal do with this? Not a whole lot. That one comes out to AXB, though. Off the bar, down somehow. That one's cleared away. I think it was Sathu who got the touch. Fortunate for him, but they're still up by 2.
It's still up by 2. Space Station still trying to apply as much pressure as they can. Questionable touch there from AXB because now they're going to give up possession. He was that last man back. Sypical has to force a touch, but this still is in possession of Afterthought. With 30 seconds left, all they have to do is run down the clock.
23 seconds now. Sypical towards the net. First killer makes the save. AXB rotates into Shock. Sypical shot on goal. First killer's up for it. Great touch by him to clear it away. 12 seconds left now. First killer off the back wall, booming clear, and I think that's going to do it. We're going to have a tied series after game 2.
Tied series, but this match was a shutout versus being a 1-goal game in game number 1. So that's going to be something you got to pay attention to. Space Station not able to find the back of the net at all. And Safiu, 100% goal participation in this game. He sets up Shock big time there. 3 seconds left. This one is all but over. We're 1-1 the scoreline, and I don't know, going into this one, it's if Afterthought can keep up this momentum and keep playing how they are, then they're in a good spot to actually take this series, which would be a big win for them. They will qualify for Montreal and send Space Station into the lowers. Man, Safi would do a double backflip on straight.
Absolutely.
Okay?
No, absolutely he would. And it's interesting to see the difference in play when these teams are ahead or behind. And I really think that first goal in game 3 is going to be absolutely crucial. The team who scores it gets to play, ahead. They play their game, whereas Space Station, we saw them in this game, Daz, they didn't have the momentum they were looking for. They never scored, obviously, but playing from behind from minute 1 really kind of set them back as far as their pacing.
Yeah, I mean, look at the goal participation as well. I mean, well, not even the goal participation, because we know Safi has 100% on that. But if you look at the shot totals, completely different story from game 1. Yeah. They almost, I'm not going to do caster math on stream, but they more than tripled their shot total from game 1. They have at least like 11-3. So very, very big improvement here from Afterthought. They're starting to get comfortable and settled in on the series. And Space Station Gaming made so many mistakes that they just weren't able to really bring it back. So, I mean, this is going to be a fresh start in game number 3, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and hopefully Space Station talked it through. Hopefully they bring something different to the table here in game 3, but we are tied up 1-1 in the series. This is a best of 5, so still plenty of time. Pretty much best of 3 at this point now as first killer plays this one out of the goal. Good save by him. There's Sypical to challenge Safiu. I would like to see a lot of Space Station offense early on. It's something we didn't see in game 2, and it put them on the back foot. However, First Killer and company certainly have plans of their own as far as the offense goes. I think this game's really going to come down to mid-control.
Yeah, I can see that being especially prevalent for midfield control. We'll see how that plays into this one, especially with how well Afterthought have been playing in that midfield control. They've been controlling it pretty well. I mean, look at Shock being able to put this downfield. First killer beating the third to the ball. Very awkward here for Space Station, but the shot from Shock isn't on target. So for them, you can just tell that Space Station are trying to rush things, and Afterthought, they have them read at this point. It's just about getting that ball in the net.
Now Shock out of the corner. He'll play this one. AXB is there to clear it away. Safiu. The first killer into the corner. Past Sypical. Can't get past Arsenal though. AXB is going to have some space to clear it away. Gets over top of Safiu. Good play by Shock. He's all alone here. Can he get the touch? Oh, yes, he can. Beautiful goal by Shock to put his team in the lead.
He gets the ball. Safiu tries to get him for the pass, but the corner's got him. And Arsenal, as much as he wants to touch that ball, Shock hits it at the perfect moment. Beautiful play there. Afterthought up in 1 goal, game 3.
3:37. Can Space Station find the equalizer? I'm sure they're hoping sooner rather than later. They've played about 7.5 minutes here without a goal. Certainly would like to put one on the board, but Afterthought, they played quite well. Shock, though, in a bit of an awkward spot. He's going to put it in himself. He scores one on either side here, Daz, and we're tied.
Yeah, good touch here from Arsenal, and it's high enough to where, like, Shock just doesn't know if it's going to bounce out or not. He goes up anyways, but you can tell there's not a lot of confidence in that touch, and it goes in, unfortunately. 3 minutes, 17 seconds left. Space Station do get blessed with a goal here, but can they turn it into a game win?
You can't rely on own goals to be your only source of scoring. I'd like to certainly see them find one themselves, as Shock does make the clear off the back wall. All three players around that ball, and Shock's going to have an opportunity to push this one down. Great clear from Arsenal. Will relieve a bit of that pressure now. First killer loses control. AXB off the back wall. Typical right into first killer. Arsenal's still there. Can he get the double? Not quite. First killer bailing out his team after putting them in a bit of an awkward spot.
Yeah, but you gotta keep in mind, AXB keeps this ball in. And Typical gets another shot. That's gonna give Space Station the lead. Overwhelming pressure is gonna shut down the Afterthought defense.
Yeah, Shock this time. An unfortunate touch from him. On a tee for Sipical. He puts it far side, puts his team in the lead. We played just about half of game number 3 now. AXB and first killer going to take this kickoff. Sipical plays it into the corner, steals the back boost as well. Safety will clear it down. Sipical using that freshly acquired boost to play that ball, but it comes right down to Shock, and we're tied yet again.
He puts it in. Absolutely banger of a shot there from Shock. Look at AXB. He gets the clear to stop first killer, but AXB, that's right in front of your box. You give Shock a free shot, and Arsenal, he can only do so much. That was beautiful placement from Shock to tie it up for Afterthought.
This game, night and day from the first two. Back and forth between these two teams now as Shock and Sipical meet each other up there. Here's AXB to play this down. First killer. Bit of a touch, but it goes right towards Arsenal, and now Sathu's going to watch this one into his car. Plays this over towards Shock. AXB wins the challenge, but first killer's going to be the first one there. Can he get by Arsenal? Yes, but Sipical on the goal line says no. Shock and AXB meeting, and it's going to be Sipical. He can't quite get the control. You've seen a couple of missed touches on either side here, Daz. Is it nerves, or is it just the pace of play?
For Space Station, it might be nerves, but there's a bit of communication. Watch out for first killer. He gets the shot, but it's off on the corner. Oh, that was their chance to take the lead, and it's going to go all the way back around. We might have to see nerves, so you have to remember, Hunted, that this is a qualifying match. Whoever wins this series is going to be sent to Dreamhack Montreal, so there is a lot of pressure on the line.
Absolutely. A Sipical, what a pass, but first killer reads it quite well. Makes the save, and now Shock down the side. He's got to get by Arsenal. Great touch by him. It's up in the air. AXB makes the save. Arsenal's going to watch this down into the corner. Good little pinch from him, and he's going to push Sipical down into the offensive zone. Gets by Shock. Looking for the touch. Arsenal's there. He can't get it. Just a bit too close to the goal. The pass does not connect. 60 seconds to go. Sipical will score. Great play, and Space Station take the lead.
I gotta go on Sathu here for this one. He has enough boost, but he's not up in time. By the time he sees Sipical in the air, it's already too late. He tries to force a touch, but he's beat dead to rights there from Sip. A great shot from him, and a crucial goal for Space Station. Up by 1 with less than a minute to go.
First killer immediately on the attack. Sathu challenging Arsenal. Shock challenging Sipical. The ball stays along the corner wall, or along the sidewall, I should say, as Sipical gets a wonderful clear. Sathu to turn it around. First killer can't beat AXB. Wasting time now in the blue corner, but Shock's going to collect. Gets demoed. Here's Arsenal to kill even more time. We've got 35 seconds left. Shock's going to bounce this one up. AXB off the back wall. First killer up in the air to deflect it back towards the orange half. But still, they have not been able to penetrate this orange half here, Daz. They've only got 20 seconds, but this one comes down. Arsenal, great save. Can this find its way in? Sipical will just push it home. Space Station stay alive, and they look to take game 3.
And you can tell Afterthought put every resource they had to getting that last shot opportunity. Remember, there's 16 seconds left. You kind of have to put everything forward on that play. They did so. And Arsenal, beautiful save from him, sending it all the way downfield. AXB gets a demo in midfield to stop any hopes from saving it. And at this point, down by 2 with 10 seconds left, it looks like Space Station are going to take the lead here. But it was a good try from Afterthought as well. They just didn't have enough this game. This ball will hit the ground, and Space Station will take the win.
This has been a wonderful series. I mean, I think that everybody can agree that these teams are so close, so evenly matched. It's gone back and forth throughout. Space Station getting the better of Afterthought, but this time around, Daz, it was very back and forth all the way through. I mean, we were tied up 3 or 4 times through that game.
Yeah, we were. Afterthought, I mean, great start from them. Again, we pointed that out. Shock had some really good shots on his end, but Space Station, I mean, this is a team you can't sleep on. Sypical woke up this game pretty much. 3 goals from him. Pretty much 2 of them were Arsenal's goals, but he got the last touch. Excuse me. So Arsenal should have 2 goals on his little docket, but that being said, Space Station pulled this one out. They were very good on the midfield. They were very good at following the ball, and when they needed to be Afterthought to the ball, they did just that. So it worked out very well for them in this game, and it kind of shows these teams are really close. I mean, not only are they really close in terms of fan votes, we see you guys in chat voting for your favorite team to move that little bar, but they're also really close skill-wise. I don't know what that means for either side, though, as you know, you think Space Station, they want to improve, but Safu moving to another team and kind of playing them very close. I mean, if this goes to 5 games, you got to question the Space Station move just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, really, of course, it is only one series, right? And they've done very well to get to this point. So, you know, take what you will from that. But either way, I'm just excited to see how this series ends. It's been a close one throughout, and we've talked about Arsenal and how he is the new player here for Space Station, and he's performed quite well. He seems to fit in with these boys. He can't make that play, however, and first killer will put Afterthought up 1-0.
Good way to start this one off, but Afterthought, they've had a good start every game. That being said, though, Arsenal's looking for the clear, hits it right in a first killer, and he gets that sweet redirect to start it off.
11 seconds in, and Afterthought have the first goal. They scored first last game, unable to complete the game, however. Now they find themselves backed into a bit of a corner as Arsenal looks to tie it. He will. And just what we were saying, Arsenal slotting in so well. He's such a mechanical player, Daz, and he shows it there.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Excellent shot. Puts it low. Puts it behind first killer at the same time with enough speed. Good bounce as well. Like, very quality shot there from Arsenal. And we're back tied up.
Typical. We'll play this into the corner off the kickoff. First killer. Gets it by AXB, however. Tries to challenge that beyond Arsenal. What a pass to Safu! My goodness, that ball had some pace on it.
Yes, it did. Arsenal gives the ball up. Shot comes through, sees Safu, and top corner defense just has to sit and watch because he put so much speed on that.
Wow, what a shot. Safu finding the top shelf there with authority, putting his team back in the lead. I don't think he scored in the last game, Daz, and he's putting his mark here on this one. Certainly has been kind of the first killer shock show on offense, and Safu really playing that third man very well. Getting up into the play now as we played 50 seconds in game number 4. It's 2-1 in favor of Afterthought. AXB is going to clear this down. First killer turns around in goal, plays it over to Safu. Safu looking for first killer. First killer, nobody there with the pass, and Arsenal is going to play this off the back wall. Out of the corner now comes Safu. Typical, no problems to touch this one down. First killer is going to turn him away. 3:39 left, game 4. AXB down towards Safu. Oh yeah, gets a follow-up touch as well. It's going to go along the side wall. Shock winning that 50. Can't beat Arsenal. We've seen a lot of this ball just hanging out in mid. Game has slowed down kind of considerably since that third goal was scored.
Yeah, definitely. So you need to pay attention to the Space Station, how they're moving up and down the field, as well as they're kind of looking a little uncomfortable here. That might be what Afterthought are going for. First killer are making some incredible challenges and reads, keeping them stuck onto their own end and kind of bunching up a little bit. But that also hasn't allowed Afterthought to score another goal. We might see one here. First killer! He's gonna put it in, securing the 3-1 lead for Afterthought. A lot of time left in the game, but this is such a beautiful touch as well. Throws AXB off, and he'll follow all the way in.
Yeah, it looked relatively innocent to me as well. When he went up for the ball, it looked like Space Station had it covered. The first killer making it work yet again. He's got 2 goals already in this game. He has certainly been a bright young star in this NA scene for quite a while. He's showing us why he deserves to be here with this team as Arsenal plays this off the wall, looking to at least put a second on the board is Space Station, move it back to a 1-goal game, but Afterthought challenging quite well, keeping control. Shock's going to take a quick shot at AXB to turn it around. Good play from Arsenal to get it past First Killer. Can he get it over towards Sipical? He does. Is there a double touch? Not quite, but AXB's still here. The pass over, pass back. One more. They can't find it. A nice little passing play, and it does end up just wide.
And First Killer was in net like a deer with headlights, frozen pretty much. And they had all the time in the world to set up that pass play. They still could not get it past him. This is not a good sign for Space Station. There's still 2 minutes left for them to bring this game back into their own hands.
AXB over towards Arsenal. Bounces it down. Shock. He's going to play this one here. Sipical right onto the hood of Sathu now. And First Killer a booming clear away. Minute 50 left. Game at number 4. Shock into the corner here. As long as this scoreline stays the same as, we'll see a game 5 between these teams. And again, this is a qualifying game. First Killer makes the save. Shock up and over. Arsenal almost putting that one home. But again, like I said, this is a qualifying series, and it could all come down to a 5th and final game.
It definitely could, and we could definitely see that. I mean, this series could end right here if we see 3 more goals for Space Station. They still have enough time on the clock, but they have not been looking strong at all so far as we approach the 1 minute mark here for this game. We just need to see them start to take control. That being said, it's going to be really tough because you can tell the momentum is in favor of Afterthought.
Absolutely, and with 60 seconds to go, that is a wonderful clear. Arsenal's going to have to get up for it. Almost found its way in. Great pass to First Killer. They have connected so often. First Killer gets his hat trick. It's 4-1.
And I think it's safe to say we're going into a game number 5. Great pass from Shock, but First Killer the challenge with a man in front and still puts it on target. Beautiful play from Afterthought. This is what we want to see from them. Hopefully they can keep up the momentum here towards the end of the game and going into game 5. It'll probably be a definite show. But for Space Station, at this point, unable to really have any success on offense. AXB going up for a challenge, even though First Killer has that ball all the way in his hands. Yeah, you're going to get punished for that. That's not a good challenge to make at all. Like, you see him on the dribble and you still try to go for a pinch. He's going to play it around you, setting up Shock. The pinch works out. I mean, I don't think there was much Typical could do there. And now they're down 5-1 with 38 seconds left. They have to reset, especially going into this game 5.
Yeah, certainly take a moment to discuss amongst yourselves what you have here in this series. It's going to come down to one final game. 30 seconds left, more of a formality than anything here as the 4-goal lead. A bit insurmountable. Sipical trying to put something on goal. But again, Space Station, they were in this position earlier on in the series. They took stock. They discussed amongst themselves, I assume. They changed up the way that they were playing, and they took it back to Afterthought. They have to do that again. There is no room for mistakes now if you want to qualify for Dreamhack Montreal.
Absolutely. So whoever wins this next game will qualify for Montreal. And that is saying something. Game 5 situation here. Afterthought completely took control, and that's how it's been going so far. They've just been, every game they've won, it's been pretty dominant.
Yes.
So anytime they play Space Station close, Space Station always end up pulling out, but they have to dominate going into game 5. That's just the type of match they have to play here.
Yeah, that's kind of been the story. I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. Every game Afterthought has won has been a bit of a blowout. Space Station, maybe that's just kind of like, that's how they like to play, is those close games. I'm not entirely sure. But again, you know, we see First Killer and Shock doing so much on the offensive side of the ball. We haven't really talked so much about Sathu, but he has been holding it down on the defensive end.
Yeah, he has been holding it down, but he's also been the one who's probably making the most calls on that team as well. Giving First Killer and Shock the information, especially for First Killer, who kind of reacts before he even thinks. Like, having someone there to kind of give you the idea of what's going on in the game is very crucial, and I think that helps out with Sathu's role on the team as well. Same thing for Shock, too. Very smart player. He's got 3 assists that last game. He pretty much fed First Killer the ball, and that worked out immensely. So if they can keep that momentum going, they might take this. But for Space Station, if they can play it close, if they can really get involved and play neck and neck with Afterthought, they'll catch them slipping and punish. It's all about who comes out here as we get on the pitch to see who qualifies for Montreal.
One final game between these two teams. 5 minutes on the clock. Let's see which team will get the free ride into Canada for Dreamhack Montreal in just a little while, but Afterthought and Space Station battling it out. Typical is going to play this one down. First killer gets the clear, and of course, big thank you to everybody here at Rival B-Dog for streaming. Oh. My goodness, Arsenal hits the crossbar, but a beautiful read almost puts his team up by 1.
You cannot let Arsenal get another shot opportunity like that. If he starts heating up, this is going to be a hard game for Afterthought to get into. You can see First Killer getting some bumps on him off the ball, but we're going to have to definitely see more of that kind of bullying as this one gets in play. That one's going to go off the back. Savio has a clear shot. He shoots it and he follows it up. Afterthought will score first here in Game 5.
My goodness, I don't know how this one bounced around and found its way in. A bit of pinball in front, but Sathu, the first shot, goes off of Arsenal, back off of Sathu, and in. So a great play there from Afterthought, narrowly escaping that early goal by Arsenal. They turn it around, win the transition game. They are up by 1 as we've played just about 50 seconds here in Game 5. We'll see if Afterthought can maintain the lead. They've done very well with the lead throughout the series. It's going to be on Space Station to try to equalize. Here's First Killer, can't get over Arsenal. Arsenal's going to play this by Shock. Sipical's there to follow up. Arsenal looking for the bump. Can't find it, and Sathu makes the save on the backside. But here's more pressure still by Space Station. They want this goal, but they just can't get by the defenders.
Yeah, they definitely did pull out all the stops for that goal. Another shot chance, but this time it's blocked out. You can start to see them heating up a little bit, and this might spell danger, especially if they're starting to play close to Afterthought. The pace of that game is going to heat up here. Game 5, both of these guys want to qualify in uppers.
Well, here's Sipical. He's got AXB there. That one's just a bit wide. Smart play. Can't quite get the ball on goal. Shock to clear it away. He plays it right into AXB. Arsenal the flick. First killer off the back wall. It's been a cycle of Afterthought players clearing the back wall over and over again against the Space Station team. They haven't let in a goal yet in Game 5, but Space Station knocking on the door. Here's AXB. He's got Arsenal across the pitch. Opts to take the shot. Challenges First Killer. The ball's still here. Sipical to follow. Can't beat Shock, but AXB gets the next touch. This one's off the back wall, and First Killer will clear.
A lot of pressure coming in here from Space Station. Again, they are trying to play close to Afterthought. This was one of the things that we talked about before we got into this game. If they play it close, they can find a mistake on defense. A big clear from First Killer stops a lot of pressure, but AXB very solid here. We're seeing these guys literally bring out all the stops. It's 1-0 as we approach the bottom half of Game 5.
Look out, that one goes a bit high. Arsenal the shot, and Shock makes the save. AXB probably wanting that shot back, but this one's going to careen out in front. Sathu somehow getting the clear. Arsenal keeps the pressure on by Shock. First Killer gets this clear as well, and my goodness, how is Afterthought surviving this?
And these clears are buying them so much time. We had a good clear from First Killer where he boomed it all the way downfield, and then the pass there we saw from Sathu to Shock are keeping it in play. They haven't had any offense here. You have to pay attention to that. They just are trying to get the ball out, and then Space Station will play it back in. They're very methodical on offense. Typical's going to drop it down, but it's not on target. They're getting too much room here to work with on offense, and these shot chances are something Afterthought should not be letting them get. But the problem is they aren't comfortable, and look at this. It's just free shot after shot after shot from Space Station Gaming. They can't find the back of the net, but this continues. They will tie this up.
We've got just about 95 seconds left to tie it up as AXB clears it away. Shock going to rotate back here. Sipical stopping along the sidewall. Oh, AXB whiffs on that. This isn't going to be a clear for Sathu. This is going to waste even more time. The double demo, however, the First Killer keeps it in, buys a ton of time for his team. They even find the touch. Are you kidding me? My goodness, First Killer puts him up by 2.
Are you serious? I thought about it. He was the last one there. I was like, he can do this by himself. I didn't think they knew, but Sipical was not ready for First Killer. He does it all on his own. 2-0 with 1 minute and 15 seconds left. This is big for Afterthought.
Are you kidding? After all of that pressure, still no goals for Space Station, and now they've got to score 2. They have 65 seconds left to do so. AXB clears it down. First Killer keeps it in. Arsenal's just going to bounce this into the corner. Final minute to go here in Game 5. Sathu off the back wall. Gets the next touch. AXB has to make the save.
Shots up!
One more! He'll score! It's 3-0.
And you can tell that they are relieved at this point. Look at the touch from Sathu. He forces AXB to make a save. It bounces up, and Shock beats the defender to the ball, puts that one in. 3-0 with 52 seconds left, and I believe this is an upset, isn't it? I think this is an upset.
I mean, it depends on who you are. If you're Sathu, I think this is exactly what you thought coming in. But for the rest of us, I would agree with you, Dazrin. I believe this is a bit of an upset here. Arsenal looking to make it close, but another big save from Shock. 33 seconds. Typical over top of First Killer. They still have an opportunity. They need to score 3 in the next 30. Can Arsenal find it out in front? Sathu will get the clear, and I think that's really going to be the dagger here, Daz.
Yeah, I mean, 19 seconds left. Not a lot of time at all. We'd have to see 2 great kickoff goals. Sipical's up. He'll play it down, but they're not letting any goals go in, Hunted. 10 seconds left. They're looking to shut out in game 5. Shot goes on. Bar down. Is it going to go in? No, but it doesn't matter. Once this ball hits the ground, Afterthought are going to qualify for Dreamhack Montreal and winners and send Space Station Gaming into the losers bracket. You know, where's the staff wagons in chat? We need the staff wagons in chat. That was phenomenal performance there from Afterthought. Space Station Gaming brought it all out there, and it looked like they could have taken the win. But First Killer, once he got that impressive goal, I mean, you had Sathu and Shock both demoed, last man, and he does it all on its own. I think that one really killed the momentum. Yeah. And then Shock is the one who sent it home. A goal from every member of Afterthought. And now they're going to qualify for Montreal.
Yes, absolutely wonderful. I'm so excited to watch them play in Montreal. It's going to be an awesome time. But man, for Sathu, that's got to feel great, right? I mean, to so soon after the move, that Space Station letting him know that he was being released, finding a spot with First Killer and Shock, taking it to Space Station all the way to 5 games, and then closing it out in a shutout, Daz. That's just, it was just a wonderful series all the way through.
You know, it really was. I mean, we saw excellent goals from both teams. We saw Space Station bring it back in game, I believe like games 2. No, they won game 1 and they brought it back in game 3. They were up 2-1 in the series. But once Afterthought found their footing in those games, I mean, it was all but over. And they like we had said, every game Afterthought won was a blowout. It was either they didn't allow Space Station to score any goals, or it was the one game that they won 5-1. And I mean, for them, you have to be feeling good, especially when you get ready to go to Montreal. Now, Space Station do have another chance, guys. Remember, exclamation point bracket in the chat. You can find out where they're going to be in the lower bracket. But I mean, I think that's going to be it for us in the winners finals as well. We're going to hop into the lowers pretty soon here to pick up another match. So I think it's time for us to actually all take a break, get on Twitter, talk about that match. No break. I guess we're going to keep going. Okay. Rogue is up 2-0 in their series, so we might just be hopping into that match to follow that up.
Oh, Rogue versus Relax. So that should be a pretty good matchup. Rogue up 2-0 against the old Splice squad. So I guess if we're going to go ahead and join that, hopefully we'll get into that soon. And yeah, our information is that Rogue is up by 2.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Rogue, not really the tournament they wanted. They dropped in 4 games to Afterthought, but Afterthought just beating Space Station. So, you know, Afterthought playing their way through the bracket, but for Rogue, I think... and I think now we are going to a break.
Yeah. Now we're going to go into a break, guys. But please make sure you follow up with the bracket. Obviously, if you enjoyed the stream, follow Rival Esports. The summer open is coming soon, and if you like any of the teams you see today, you might be able to see them again when that happens. So make sure you keep up to date on everything Rival Esports. But we also are keeping the match info on the sidebar. That will be updated throughout the stream as well. So just make sure you guys stick around for a bit. We'll have some more Rocket League matches coming very soon. Don't go anywhere. This is the Dreamhack Montreal closed qualifiers here at Rival Esports.